I truly, from the bottom of my heart today, want to thank Justice D.Y. Chandrachud and Justice Indira Banerjee, because what you have done for me as a citizen of this great nation, my lords and my lady, cannot be put into words by me. But what you have stood for in the history books of this great nation, my lords and my lady, and judicial tradition cannot be weighed in pounds or kilograms of stone, you know, because when I just felt I had this endless faith in the courts eventually, because when human dignity was being flogged, you restored them with your highest conscience. When fundamental rights were being tossed, you rose in your wisdom to protect them. And when the rule of law was turned into a mockery by one state, you brought reason and direction to restore it. And when all the enshrined values of this great democracy were being shred and are being shred to bits by a state machinery that is guided by malice, vengefulness and vindictiveness, my lords, you intervened to ensure that the constitutional freedoms and rule of law have prevailed. I humbly bow down to you. I bow down to you. You ask me how I felt. Well, I can tell you one thing, and you may find this strange. I did not feel alone. I did not feel alone. I got snatches from a television set, and even among the inmates of the Taloja Central Jail, many were people who had watched me on television over the years. So I became quite a gregarious member of their team. I think they will be missing me tonight. I hope I'm not called back. They'll be very happy if I join them again. But your support does matter. We need to have a discussion on what's been going on. Sambit, we need to have a discussion on what's been going on. This was a fake case. My problem is this with the Maharashtra government. Without investigation, you persecute. The TRP case, the Mumbai Police Commissioner did a press conference blaming me and then is trying to reverse engineer a case. He does not listen to the Supreme Court. Now, secondly, even in this particular case, any particular case, without the investigation, you reopen a case which has been closed and you begin with an arrest. You don't even issue a summons. MR, is that process valid legally?
Definitely not, Arnab. No, Arnab. It is not valid, I can tell you. What I see, Arnab, and I can tell you with some amount of responsibility, the Maharashtra government will meet its Waterloo in your hands. That is what is going to happen. And secondly, Arnab, I thought, and let me tell you, it was a fight between Republic Channel and Maharashtra government. What it eventually turned out was a fight between Maharashtra government and the public. The overwhelming support. Arnab, I'll just give you one instance. One old lady called me and said, "Sir, is there a provision in law where I can substitute for Arnab in the prison? Let Arnab come and fight. Otherwise, there will be nobody to fight this Tukde gang, the JNU Walas, the so-called leftists, the liberals. Can you find out some provision in CRPC and say that I will depute for Arnab inside the Taloja prison?" You know, that completely humbled me, Arnab. Can you ever believe you are not a relative of that person? You are nobody to that person. But if that person calls me and says this, I would have seen this type of adulation for politicians, for probably Jayalalitha at her peak or Karnanati at her peak from state of Tamil Nadu. But for you, Arnab, and this lady from my state calls and says, I will incarcerate myself for a Assamese editor. And look at what General Bakshi did. He spearheaded the whole campaign, and rightfully so, sir. Our salutes to you, our pranams to you. I will do a sastang namaskar to you, because for what you stood for with Arnab, and we are all humbled because you carried the gravitas. You helped Arnab to come out. You put the hydraulic pressure on the courts, and that is how courts started looking at this case as some sort of this is going to be a landmark decision. Arnab, I told you quite a few weeks back what Keshavananda Bharati was in the 70s and the 80s. Arnab was the state of Maharashtra will be for the next generation. And this will be the single largest judgment on Part 3 of the Constitution. So, Arnab, I wish you a happy Diwali.
I must also,
glad my family members are glad.
I must also place on record Tonight, it will be unfair if I don't place on record my deepest personal and professional gratitude for the legal colossus, you know, one of India's foremost jurists, Mr. Harish Salve, who has fought with all his heart and his knowledge for me. I am deeply grateful. I think all of us, we owe deep gratitude to Mr. Harish Salve. And I want to say one more thing. I don't know how many of you know this. Mr. Harish Salve, you know, does not even charge us 1 rupee or any of his most valuable, you know, appearances in the court. He appears pro bono for us, and that is my, you know, that is my something which I cannot even express my gratitude and thanks for. And if you see the nature of the arguments being presented here, people say you're escalating the case to a broader issue. Well, it is a broader issue. Let me explain the broader issue, Sambit Patra. The issue is not a TRP case. The issue is not a Palghar case. The issue is not a fake case. The issue is not one fake arrest here. The issue is not even Arnab being arrested. The issue is the omnibus exercise of malice by the state machine. This is, you see, if today I decide, if the state decides, you know, to go after Sambit Patra, and it says, I will find something against him, then they can ring fence him with 1 million cases. In our case, this has happened. 100 FIRs on Palghar. You released our attackers on bail. We pursued the Palghar case. You then filed an FIR for a Bandra incident. Then you tried to stop our coverage on SSR. Right? Then you arrest my crew on 10th September. You arrest my reporter. If you look at it, it's a very serious matter. When you talk of the, you know, the importance of the Keshavananda Bharati judgment, and now I'll stop here because you are dealing with a very unusual situation. Very unusual, where the state is exhibiting its incredible appetite for publicly visible malice. This has never happened in this form.